Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. So, Ian went to Timmy's. I got my medium double cup. And I had to put ketchup on it. They make it really dry. It's a breakfast burger. I told them I don't want the cheese. So, it's egg, bacon, and then I put ketchup on it. And a hash brown. And I should have put ketchup on a hash brown. So, what happened? We had spaghetti for supper and cheese garlic toast. She got the garlic toast and I put cheese on it and put it in the oven. Today we got, like I said yesterday, we got running around. Ian's Friday off. LaPonda got today off. So, they leave here in about 20-25 minutes, gonna drop off Miss Lee's. I think he's coming back. I don't know if we're going with her and right over to, I'll have to find out what's going on. Whoever made that coffee, they did a real good job. It must have been a fresh. That's definitely a fresh one. The one that's not setting. I think they leave it setting over there too long. They're only supposed to be, what, 20 minutes or something? And they're supposed to throw it out. Because a lot of times, I mean almost all the time, when I get a coffee over there, you can taste that it's not fresh. It says right on the thing that it's fresh every 20 minutes. Down home though, McDonald's does the same thing. So many minutes and they gotta throw it out and da-da-da and make a new one. Well, the main bus stop, bus area stop is that King's Place. And they got, at that time, they had a small little, I wouldn't even call it a food court, but they had sort of like the Panda over here, and then he had another one, and then they had McCrappy's, and then McCrappy's and the other one, I forget the name of it, it's like independent, whatever, but they were in there, and they're probably still in there, and McCrappy's. The other ones, they always changed all the time. So anyway, Chinese restaurant though, that might be still there. I probably told this story before, I don't know. So, me and Jim, we went downtown. I gave him $2 or something to get a large tea. He didn't drink coffee, like a large cup. Now, we used to go there at lunchtime, people that work downtown, and we'd get a coffee, could be morning, noon, whatever, in the winter time. This would only happen in the summertime. It was different, but in the winter time, because they got the the shelters down there, and they got to be out. The men, I don't know about the women, but they got to be out at 8 o'clock, whatever. They can't stay unless they're sick or whatever, or, you know. But if they're healthy, they got to go out. And then they have 3 meals. They got breakfast, dinner, and supper at the community kitchen, like Bro calls it. It's anyway, he called it, it's for everybody, community center, right? And it was soup kitchen. So anyway, they go there. But during the day, like I said, in between breakfast, dinner, supper, whatever, anybody like downtown, I'd go get a coffee, make crappies after the whatever, they would throw theirs out. Now, when you get a coffee, I always got a large one. Instead of them throwing it out, the crappies, they were 3 older women, and usually it was, they knew, they did this. And when you leave the coffee on the table. And if they see a large, oh my goodness, anyway, especially an extra large. Oh, I usually just get a large. Then when I leave my cup there, so one of the men or whatever in the shelter, they could get it, and they think you got free refill. And when you get the refill, they would put an R on it. And that would be from, instead of throwing it out, they'd give it anyway. And then if they got newspaper, they would leave it there. You know what I'm saying? They would come over, they'd get their cup, go get their coffee, sit there and read the newspaper. So anyway, I forgot to tell Jim because it was a weekend, and I had to go to Victory. Anyway, I don't know why. I had to get my meat, but I had an appointment because they had doctor's offices upstairs and EI. So maybe it was something to do with EI. I don't know. But I was going to be a while. And it was cold. Really cold. Wintertime cold. So I said, what are you going to do? I mean, you don't want to sit in the... He said he'd go get a tea. Sit in the food court. Now, I knew I was going to be like an hour or 2 hours. It was going to be a long time. It might have been one of them workshop thingies that you have to go, they get you to go to once in a while, right? Anyway, it was something. So I go and get him an extra large coffee. And a newspaper, because they had a newspaper stand. And he sat in there for like an hour and a half or whatever it was, reading the newspaper, and I got him an extra large. When we left, I was like, where's your cup in your newspaper? Oh, I threw it in the garbage. I said, oh shit. He said, what? I explained to him what we do, and I forgot to tell him. He goes, well, I was sitting here, and I had about 100 people walking around and circling for that cup in that newspaper. You know what I mean? He said, I felt so uncomfortable. He didn't know what was going on. I said, Dad, they wanted your cup. He said, if I would have known that, he would have went over to the garbage and on top, put the thing in the newspaper like on top, and then they could get it, right? But he had it on the side of the table. He said, I felt like so uncomfortable, like I was going to get mugged or something. I forgot all about it. It was a weekend too. I didn't think it was going to be, by anyway. I think it was, no, it couldn't have been because if it was an unemployment thing. Probably a busy day like a Friday. Oh yeah, that'd be sharks going around. He said, I knew something was up. He said, because I seen the same guy about 10 times. I know which one it is too, because he will do that. He'll stand almost over my shoulder and get the coffee, and I say, I'm not ready. Because sometimes I just walk by and just give it to him, right? I said, I'm not done with my coffee right now. Like, he knew, I knew. If you know, you know, right? So anyway, It's like when I was working at housing, in the morning after the bus dropped me off, I hurried out and walked to Timmies and then across the parking lot. And anyway, guy, it was really cold. It wasn't, what's his name? I used to get him coffee when I bring him out a coffee. I think he passed away. I don't think he's, unless I got it mixed up. I was talking to Ivan anyway. Anyway, I would go out. We go there at night and play the cards and that. And I'd go get a coffee and he's barely standing. He's right out of his tree. Want money, but I wouldn't do that. I brought him over a coffee outside, freezing now. I mean, it's cold. But, there's another guy standing there in the morning at the door like this, and I'm like, I don't carry money. And this was years ago, but as soon as you could use your Interact and your debit, I started doing that, right? Didn't have the tap back then. Didn't have the, anyway. Because I didn't carry money, and I told him I don't carry money. But he was right at the door, and it was quite a lineup, and it was so cold that morning. I said, what do you take in your coffee? He said, no, they will go out there, the managers, if he's bugging and he's right at the door, they will shoo him away, right? Depending on the manager. If it's really cold, they usually leave them alone. They make a couple dollars, they go get their coffee, and then they leave, or whatever. But I didn't trust this one. I don't know if it was really for coffee, because a lot of times it is, right? Anyways, I said, what do you take? And I think it was double or something, same as me. I said, well, I'll get your coffee. I said, so stay here. I'll be back as soon as I know. Now, for him to leave, it must have been the manager. Scooted him out, because I got the coffee and then I went outside and he's nowhere to be found. Then I didn't do that again. Unless it was like Buddy that was out there, forget his name, and he never asked. Well, he would stand there with a thing and he's like this, you know, but he never bothered. They didn't do anything. Mostly he done that at night, though. They didn't bother him because he wasn't right at the door. Anyway, they had like a little, from the church, was Tim Hortons in the church. And then they had I don't know what it was, but it was sort of like a underground, but you don't park there. It's not really under, but it was, that's where a lot of them hung out, because it was like people from the shelters, right? Like this guy, he was from the shelters, but everybody knew him. So that's it, because I need a smoke, upload this, and then I'm going to find out that if, when Ian comes back, I think we're going right away or something like that. But anyways, so, we're going to be busy today. We're going to be busy today. I'll probably I really don't have to go over to Canadian Tire, because I want to go to the outlet. I want to go to the mall. But I'll go anyway. I'm up and everything, you know. Anyhows, you guys all have a good day and stay safe, and it's cigarette time.